Did you know that the vast steppes of Mongolia were once home to some of the most ancient and formidable nomadic civilizations? Picture the Xiongnu, Xianbei, and Turkic tribes, each with their unique lifestyles and social structures, roaming these expansive grasslands. They were masters of the horse and the bow, living a life dictated by the seasons and the movements of their herds. These tribes weren't isolated entities, though. They interacted and traded with neighboring civilizations, influencing and being influenced by them. Their contributions to the history of Mongolia are significant, and their legacy can still be seen in the traditions and cultures of present-day Mongolians. Their nomadic way of life, their mastery of horseback riding, and their formidable combat skills were crucial in shaping the Mongolian identity. These tribes, with their strong sense of community and resilience, laid the foundation for the rise of a leader who would change the course of world history: Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, once a mere nomad, rose to establish the largest contiguous empire in human history. Born as Temujin in the early 12th century, Genghis Khan's life was shaped by hardship and survival. The death of his father when he was just 9 years old thrust him into the harsh realities of the Mongolian steppes. It was through these struggles that the seeds of a great leader were planted. By the time he was in his early 40s, Genghis Khan had unified the warring Mongol tribes under a single banner. He achieved this through a combination of strategic alliances, military prowess, and a new code of laws known as the Yasa. This unification marked the birth of the Mongol Empire. But Genghis Khan wasn't just a skilled leader. He was an innovative military strategist who transformed the art of warfare. He harnessed the Mongols' exceptional horse riding skills, developed a sophisticated communication system, and used psychological warfare to instill fear in his enemies. His strategies were so effective that they led to the conquest of vast territories, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. The Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan was much more than a military force. It was a catalyst for change, shaping the course of world history. Genghis Khan promoted trade, instituted a postal system, and introduced a written script for the Mongolian language. He was known for his tolerance of different religions within his empire, and his policies helped to foster a cultural exchange between the East and the West. Yet, it's important to remember that the Mongol Empire was also marked by brutal warfare and widespread destruction. Cities were razed, populations decimated, and cultures disrupted. The Mongol conquests were a time of profound change, both destructive and transformative. Under the Mongol Empire, a period of relative peace and stability ensued, known as the Pax Mongolica. This era, which we'll delve into in our next scene, was a time when trade and cultural exchange flourished under the Mongols' firm but stable rule. Imagine a time when East and West were connected like never before thanks to the Pax Mongolica. This period of relative peace and stability under Mongol rule, spanning the 13th to the 14th centuries, opened new vistas of interaction between different cultures. It was a time when merchants, diplomats, and scholars freely crossed the vast expanse of the Mongol Empire, creating a vibrant tapestry of cultural exchange. Trade flourished along the Silk Road, a network of ancient trade routes stretching from China to Europe. Goods, ideas, and innovations flowed freely, enriching societies from the Far East to the Mediterranean. Papermaking, gunpowder, the compass, these Chinese innovations found their way west, while glassware, textiles, and artistic styles traveled east. Diplomacy thrived as Mongol Khans hosted envoys from different kingdoms, fostering a sense of global community. This era of peace and prosperity paved the way for the Mongols' expansion into China, leading to the establishment of the Yuan Dynasty. Did you know that the Yuan Dynasty was established by Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan? Yes, you heard it right. Kublai, a visionary ruler, not only established Yuan, but also integrated Mongolia into the Chinese imperial system, a significant milestone in Mongolia's history. This major step towards consolidation started a new chapter, blending Mongol and Chinese cultures in a unique way. But Kublai Khan's influence didn't stop there. He was also instrumental in promoting various religions during his reign. Buddhism, in particular, flourished under his rule, becoming more integrated into the daily life of the people. This era saw the construction of many Buddhist temples and monasteries, which served as centers of learning and culture. The Yuan dynasty was indeed a fascinating period, with Mongol rulers adopting Chinese customs and administrative techniques, and yet retaining their Mongol identity. The decline of Mongol rule in China marked the emergence of the Northern Yuan dynasty in Mongolia. As the Mongol rule in China declined, the northern Yuan dynasty emerged in Mongolia. This was a period of shifting power dynamics, as the Mongols grappled with the rise of the Ming dynasty in China. The northern Yuan dynasty, established in the 14th century, was a continuation of the Mongols' Yuan dynasty in China, albeit with a significant shift northward back to the Mongol heartlands. The relationship between the northern Yuan and the Ming dynasty was complex, characterized by both conflict and alliances. On one hand, the Mongols and the Ming were adversaries, with skirmishes and battles punctuating their history. On the other hand, they also engaged in diplomatic negotiations and trade, forming alliances when beneficial. These alternating periods of war and peace, of enmity and friendship, shaped the course of Mongolian and Chinese history. This period of tension and conflict led to the incorporation of Mongolia into the Qing Empire of China. The Qing Empire marked a significant turning point in the history of Mongolia. During the 17th century, the Qing dynasty, led by the Manchu people from northeastern China, expanded its reach into Mongolia. The Manchu imposed their rule, bringing an end to the northern Yuan dynasty and effectively incorporating Mongolia into their empire. This incorporation was not a simple process, as Mongolia was divided into two regions, Inner and Outer Mongolia, each with its own unique characteristics and challenges. The Manchu rulers implemented a distinct administrative system for each region, reflecting the complexities of governing this vast and diverse land. Inner Mongolia was more closely integrated into the Qing Empire, while Outer Mongolia retained a degree of autonomy under the supervision of Qing-appointed Amban. Despite these efforts to manage and control Mongolia, tensions persisted between the Qing rulers and the Mongols. The Qing rule sparked a desire for independence among the Mongols, leading to the emergence of the Bogd Khanate. The early 20th century saw the emergence of the Bogd Khanate in Outer Mongolia. This period marked a significant shift in Mongolia's history, as Mongolians began to assert their independence from the Qing dynasty and later Manchu rule. At the heart of this movement was the Bogd Khanate, a theocratic state established in Outer Mongolia. The Bogd Khan, a spiritual leader, played a pivotal role in this fight for independence. He was seen as a unifying figure, a beacon of hope for the Mongolians yearning for freedom. The Bogd Khanate was more than a political entity. It was a symbol of Mongolian sovereignty and cultural identity. The establishment of theocratic rule under the Bogd Khan was a clear defiance against foreign domination, a firm stand for autonomy. These independence movements were not without challenges, but they ignited a fire that would eventually lead to the creation of a new republic. The independence movements paved the way for the establishment of the Mongolian People's Republic. In 1924, Mongolia became the second country in the world to adopt communism. This marked the birth of the Mongolian People's Republic, a socialist state which was heavily influenced by its close ally, the Soviet Union. The Soviets had a significant impact on Mongolia's politics, economy, and culture. They helped to modernize the country, introducing industrialization and collectivization. However, the implementation of these socialist policies was not without controversy. The collectivization of livestock, for instance, was met with resistance from Mongolia's traditional herders. Similarly, the Soviets' efforts to eradicate Buddhism, which was seen as a relic of the feudal past, led to the destruction of hundreds of monasteries and the displacement of thousands of monks. Despite these challenges, the Mongolian People's Republic endured for over 65 years, maintaining a close relationship with the Soviet Union throughout the Cold War. The fall of the Soviet Union in 1990 sparked a democratic revolution in Mongolia. The winds of change blew over Mongolia in 1990, marking the beginning of a new era. This was the year of the Democratic Revolution, a time when the people of Mongolia made a decisive choice to transition from a socialist system to a democratic government and market economy. This shift was seismic, and it brought with it a host of challenges and opportunities. Political reforms had to be enacted, a new economic model had to be adopted, and societal changes had to be navigated. In the post-Soviet era, Mongolia found itself grappling with the complexities of democracy, the volatility of market forces, and the nuances of a society in flux. The path was not easy, but the journey was necessary. It was a time of transformation, of shedding old skin and embracing new possibilities. Today, Mongolia faces both challenges and opportunities. Modern Mongolia stands at the crossroads of history and progress. As the nation strides into the 21st century, it faces a host of contemporary challenges. Political stability remains a crucial concern, with the nation striving to balance the demands of democracy and governance. Alongside this, the task of economic diversification looms large. The nation seeks to move beyond the traditional sectors of mining and agriculture, exploring avenues in technology, tourism, and renewable energy. Environmental conservation is another pressing issue. With the vast Mongolian steppes and pristine lakes under threat, the battle against climate change takes center stage. Additionally, regional security concerns, particularly relations with neighboring powers, require astute diplomacy and strategic partnerships. But Mongolia is not just facing challenges. It also presents numerous opportunities. As a key player in Central Asia, Mongolia is poised to make significant contributions in regional and global affairs. As we look to the future, the history of Mongolia serves as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of its people.